What's up, everybody? I'm Adrian.
I'm Clark. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Marshall Studio Classic Combo JCM800. Welcome to Liquid Studios. This amp features a 10-inch Celestion V-type speaker out of it, which I was a little worried about at first before picking up the amp, because I read some stuff online and people were saying that it doesn't really... Not that it doesn't handle the bass as well, but it just that the bass doesn't shine through like it would out of a 12-inch speaker. But when I'm playing the amp, in all honesty, I don't really notice that huge of a difference. If I was to go up to a 2x12 or a 4x12 cab, I'm sure it would make a big difference.
So yeah, you'll hear some sound samples. I believe you used a few different guitars. I think I saw you.
Yeah, for the sound samples, I used a Fender Stratocaster and my Epiphone 59 Les Paul. So when you hear the sound sample, I have it mic'd up with a Shure SM57 and an Aston Origin blended together. And I also used the DI out on the back of the amp, and then I used the Pulse IR loader, and I loaded in an ML Sound Labs Celestion G1275 speaker cabinet and a Mesa V30 speaker cabinet.
I had my first real guitar amp was a JCM800. The 2x12, what was the model? 2104.
No, yours was 4104.
4104. It was an awesome amp.
And it had the Celestion G1265 speakers in it.
The only problem is it was a beast, and with those older amps from the 80s, not ideal for studio work, because they have a hum to them. They make a bit of noise, but the amp was great.
Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to say this right now. Speaking about hum and noise, a lot of people, I've read a lot of forums about this new amp, and everybody said that that's kind of completely eliminated on these amps. And it's definitely toned down a bit, but it still is there. Once you go to the high sensitivity, it's there. But the low sensitivity, it's pretty much silent, which is great, because the old one wasn't.
No, not at all. And as Clark said about the bass response, I know with my JCM800, like, that thing had bass for days. It was so much low end in it. It was outrageous. Whereas I could see maybe people complain a little bit because that doesn't have this doesn't have that. But it's a 10-inch speaker, and I don't know if necessarily, especially with music with how it is now and guitar tones, I don't know if you would even necessarily want that, because everything now is more of like a hi-fi sound, especially in all modern rock music. Like it's all high-passed.
Well, for the most part, if you're recording with an old one, you'd be high cutting anyways and taking all that out of the frequency range. So now on the low sensitivity with the Boss SD1 in front, hear it as clean.
So when Clark told me he got this and it came, I was super excited because I had this amp. This was my first amp, and I love the sound of it. I love playing out of it. So yeah, I was really excited when he said he got it. And as you can see from the pictures with the limited edition with the Tolex, like it looks
Really sharp.
amazing. Like it looks great. And they, for the most part, everything is correct on it. Like you got your both inputs, your high and your low. You have a effects loop at the back, which is great. And I would have, when listening to Clark initially, when I was initially playing it, I almost thought it sounded more like plexi tones to me. Not so much 800 tones as more of like traditional old school Marshall plexi tones, and you'll hear that from the sound samples. As soon as we started playing it, like it's that distinctive Marshall sound, that really like top end, almost like piercing, grab you sound. And then that's what this amp does, and it does it really well.
Yeah, if you're looking to do a classic rock or like an 80s metal type of sound, this is definitely the amp that you want for it. You throw a tube screamer or any type of overdrive really in front of it, and it's gonna just shine. Like Adrian said earlier, the amp does feature an effects loop in it, and it has a switch on the back to turn the effects loop on and off. That's one downfall I do find about this amp, is I wish it had a foot switch to turn the effects loop on and off on it, just because it would make it a little bit more handy so you're not doing quite as much tap dancing with your pedals when you're switching them on and off. So I know this amp really is highly recommended for that hard rock metal type of sound, the really high gainy, overdriven, punchy in the face type of tones, but it also has a great clean channel on it. When you plug into the low sensitivity, it's really nice with it being the lower wattage amp that you can crank the preamp to get it really nice and shine through and really feel the power and presence out of the amp. But it still has a lot of depth to the tones. I always have Marshalls and Fenders usually, but I personally prefer the Marshall clean tone, which I know most people would disagree with, but I just love the sound of the clean Marshall amp.
Yeah, and I even found that when I had my vintage 800, I loved the low sensitivity input into it. Like, it sounded great. It was a very nice clean, and it was such a full, big sound. And as Clark said, like, that setting specifically does remind me of my old 800, is the low sensitivity. It does have that nice bass response, and it's a really big, full, clean sound.
And in all honesty, that's really what you want to look for with an amp, is to have the nicest clean tone, because you can always build your gain sounds off of that with distortion pedals, because this amp can take any type of dirt in front of it.
Thanks everybody for checking out our video. If you liked it,
please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on our latest videos.
You can connect with us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
We also host a live stream every Monday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube.
All the songs we create are released on all the major distributors: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and YouTube Music. We use DistroKid to release our content. Anybody who's not a member, there's an affiliate link below. You can sign up and save yourself 7%. Thanks for watching.